Hello one and all, and welcome to another one of our card versions. Today in not so sunny, kind of sunny Edinburgh. I don't know what the weather is doing today. It's, spring, summer, I don't know. We are going to be going over every single version of every single card that you can get in this wonderful expansion set for Magic the Gathering. And we'll be taking you through each difference of each version and the percentages of how often you can find certain card versions and in which products specifically. And hopefully we'll be able to share a comparison to give you an idea of what everything looks like. Okie dokie, so without further ado, let's get started with the full art lands. This set comes with full art lands. It's very similar to the previous sets, where they've always had at least one version of a normal land and then the full art proper that is always in theme with the story of the game itself proper. So this expansion is about Phyrex invading all of the planes, and all in all you'll be able to find these cards in basically all of the products. And yeah, they're quite beautiful. There are some that I really like and others that I prefer least. But, I still think some of them, like this Swamp here, is really, really beautiful. To be able to find these full art basic lands, basically they're available in draft boosters, where 33% of them can be found replacing other lands. And they can be foil or non-foil. Same thing for the set boosters, and then each collector booster has at least one foil land. And yeah, that's basically it. There's nothing else to it. I think these lands are quite gorgeous though, so that's something to keep in mind. I've always been a fan of full art lands, and even though it feels like they're cheapening out by having each set with a full art land, it still allows people to figure out the most precious arts, the ones that they like the most, and put them in their decks without limiting full art lands to only super collectors or collectible versions that are extremely hard to obtain. Now, without further ado, we will start with the pièce de résistance, as they say here, and it's the Multiverse Legend cards. Now, every single card in a Multiverse of Legends, or Multiverse Legends, these are cards that are non-standard legal. Just like in Brothers War, they ended up having an extra sheet, or what they call an extra cut sheet, that contains cards from the past that are brought in to this expansion and basically in every single product, so that people can play and obtain them when they couldn't before. It's quite beautiful. I believe it's really, really cool to do that. I was a huge fan of this kind of approach for Brothers War, especially because it was artifact themed. But yes, you can get quite a few interesting cards here. Now, there are 65 of them in total, and out of these, there are 20 uncommons, which is about 31%, 30 rares, which is 46%, and 15 mythics, which is around 23%. So all in all, it's not a bad spread. It means that realistically, every 1 in 3 boosters, you're likely to get a rare or a mythic of these. So this is something that people have been concerned about, that the amount of rares and mythics they can get can kind of mess up the limited format. But realistically, I think they've done quite a good job. Yes, they've done quite a good job because they balanced everything quite well. And I find the games that I've been into to be enjoyable, in the least. Now, let's give you a couple of examples. First, we can move on and look at where they can be found and to what percentages they can be found. So we'll go through here and we'll give you a couple of ideas. Okay, so let's start off first with the normal version, the non-foil version of these cards. As you can see here, every single card has been taken from their original formats, which, some of these cards have seen quite a few versions, and they've added a new type of frame to them, which is the frame assigned to their plane, right? So each and every one has a specific plane, and a specific art style and form. So you'll find the cards that come from Innistrad have the same type of style in the art, and also in the frame is the same type. Same thing for Dominaria ones, and so on and so forth. So this is Kaldheim. So it's very reminiscent of also the collectibles or the showcase for those planes in previous expansions, but there are planes that have never received a showcase version. So you'll see that in this expansion there are, for the first time, certain showcases. Now, if we continue on, up here we have the foil version. This is the normal foil version of these cards. So we'll put this aside and we'll show you this one as well. And realistically, I mean, the foiling always differs a little bit depending on the art of the card itself proper. Therefore, it's nice to see a couple of examples because, as you can see here, the cards have different foiling, different patterns, and they're quite beautiful. I really love this Tisa Karlov. Furthermore, the cards that are part of the MUL, so of the Multiverse Legends, they can, each and every one of them, be in the etched format. So the etched foil is quite different, and I like the etched foil for only one reason, mainly that it's very straight when it comes out of collector's boxes. Therefore, it's quite easier to play with, and well, it's not as ruined as some cards can be, as we'll get to in just a second. But yes, as you can see, the edge foil is realistically the original art, the original frame, just in the etched format. Next up, let's have a look at the Halo foils, which is another interesting finish that they have created, another different version that they created for these cards. And it's quite beautiful. In my opinion, these are amazing. The Halo foils are even better than some of the serialized cards that I've seen. You can definitely notice that the pattern is a little bit pixelated. So as you can see here, it feels like a little bit granular, just on the camera. And you can also feel that with the, not with the gloves, but with your finger, you can feel that there's a little bit of a texture to it when you place the finger on. And as you can see, the foiling is kind of different depending the card and the art. So it's just very similar foiling. Sorry, the Halo foil. The Halo foil is very similar to what they did with the Step and Complete version of the cards in Fire Exile will be one where they've added a patina on top of extra foiling, and it's quite interesting, I must say. Unfortunately, these cards tend to bend quite a bit. It is very noticeable, and especially when it's just out of the pack. If you were to look at a normal edge foil, you can see that on my right is the Halo foil, and the Halo foil is already starting to curl. So if you really like one of these, you should start putting it right away into some protection to straighten it out and prevent it from warping further. Now, the main reason why I have these gloves on is because today we're fortunate enough that one of our friends over at Mox in a Hole has provided us with an amazing serialized card. And as you can see here, we have Thalia, the Guardian of Tharaben, in the serialized double rainbow foil or double foil or whatever you want to call it version. And just to give you a perspective, the way that this is foiled is not like the whole card is completely a mirror that shines a bright light in your face. Just like all foiling, there are some parts that have been foiled, just like in a normal foil card, and some parts that haven't been foiled as much. And the rainbow foiling is very vertical. Just like in the oil slick version of the cards for example, B1 bundle cards, the special bundle, this one is exactly like that. So you'll notice that the foiling in of itself is very vertical, and this happens, as you'll see if you have a chance, in the Praetors too. Just side by side with the normal foil, right? So just side by side with a normal foil. As you can see, the normal foiling is as such, and the rainbow foiling is a bit different. And another comparison, we have here the halo foil and the rainbow foil side by side. This is why I prefer this. It is very beautiful, not gonna lie, especially around the borders of the plain showcase parts. But in my opinion, I don't know, it feels like it's a little less flashier than I expected somehow. And so this is a side-by-side comparison again with Thalia, just non-foil. And yeah, just to go into a little bit more detail, as you can see here, there's foiling all around the border and inside the card itself proper. And this stamp of that serialized is also foiled outside, and the numbers are foiled. And there is a black box right underneath. The stamp of the serialized is a little bit embossed, but not too much. And that's literally it. So we'll be putting this beautiful, beautiful card that we will treat with care right back into all of its protection. But that's it for serialized. We managed to get our hands on one of them just to show you the difference. Now, realistically, from what I can see, I wouldn't say that these cards are definitely worth it, because yes, there is a factor of rarity with these kind of cards, because they're so hard to get, and that's what's really giving it value. But the foiling in of itself is not that great if you know, I mean, to each your own, right? But personally, I don't think the foiling is really worth it. The halo foils for this set are much, much more beautiful in my opinion. So yeah, I don't know, you know, if you get one of these, of course you're gonna be lucky, because you've hit kind of like the lottery, and you will definitely, if you want to sell it, you'll definitely find somebody who will be interested in buying one of them. And depending on the rarity of the card, you're gonna be either going from a few, you know, tens of pounds to quite a few hundreds of pounds, or even a couple of thousands of pounds, depending on the rarity. Therefore, yes, if you get lucky, keep it, sell it, do whatever you want with it. It's your choice in the end if you like it or not. But for me, it's the kind of card that I honestly prefer the halo foiling to the double rainbow foiling myself. And yeah, that's about it. All right, so where can we find the Multiverse Legend cards? They are available in draft boosters, set boosters, collector booster sample packs, and collector boosters. So therefore, just like in Brothers War, you can find them in every single product. Now, in draft boosters, you can get a guaranteed in each pack, and then an extra possible one in the commons and the uncommon slot. In the set booster, you get a guaranteed one in each pack, and then a possible, and that is a foil in the foil slot, and two extra possible ones in the wildcard slot. Then in collector sample pack, you can either get in the traditional foil uncommon of each pack, which is always present, or an extra possible one in the wildcard slot, and then it can be foil or non-foil traditional. So you cannot get the rainbow foil or the serialized foil in the collector sample pack. Furthermore, in the collector's boosters, this is where you can find every single version of them. Realistically, for the special foilings, you have, as we described, the edge, the halo, serialized, and the normal foil. And every single pack will contain at least one foil rare or mythic in each pack that it has either a 75% chance of being a traditional foil, 14% chance of being an edge foil, 10% chance of having a halo foil, and then a less than 1% chance to be a serialized card. Now, there is no explanation as to what the percentage proper is of less than 1%. We couldn't find it anywhere, but realistically, it seems to be on average one per case. On average, seems to be the case. Haha, funny. But the idea is, if you're really wanting to try and unbox one yourself, get 2 sealed cases. That is 6 boxes each of collector's booster boxes, and open them yourself. And then make sure that they're sealed, because if somebody has opened a case and has removed the box containing your amazing serialized foil, then there's likely no chance that you will get, close to no chance that you will get one other in the case. Now, looking at the next slot, you also can get a special foil uncommon in each pack with the idea of having a 75% chance of having them etched, 24% chance of having them in the halo foil, and then less than 1% chance of having them serialized. I would reckon that it's likelier that you will get a serialized of these than the rares and the mythics, but again, they don't show us what the percentage is. Then you can also get a traditional foil uncommon in each pack, and that's it. These are all the card versions for the Multiverse Legend. Next up, we have the serialized alternate art Praetors. Now, these are Praetors proper that have been introduced with this set. And what ended up happening is, yes, you can get these Praetors in the normal version. You can get the showcase version, which is, we will discuss in a bit, the planar booster fun. And you can also get them in the serialized art. Now, the serialized cards are extremely rare, and these specific arts are just for these serialized cards, and they take up less than 1% chance. They are double rainbow foil, and they are in the slot of the rare or mythic rare that is the traditional foil in the booster. So that's it. At the end, when you unbox it, this is the part where you can find them. It's very, very hard to get them, just like any other serialized. I wonder if you can get a God Pack, because you can apparently get one per slot. So you can get a serialized in the traditional, then you can get a serialized uncommon, and then you can get a serialized again in the other slot. So I'm wondering if you could get a God Pack with 3 of them. I would reckon that their algorithm that cuts the cards and makes the packs doesn't allow for something like this. But correct me on this if anybody does open a God Pack. Just like it used to be, I don't know if anybody here used to play World of Warcraft, and then when the World of Warcraft TCG came out, they came with God Packs, which had these packs that if you were extremely lucky, you would get basically a foil scratchable collector item that you could then put into the game that was present in that set, one of each, and that meant that if you get the mounts, then you were like set. And so the God Pack contained every single one of those. So I wonder if anything like that exists here. Next up, we have the Planar Booster Fun cards. Now, these are quite beautiful. They are exactly the same type of cards style as in the planar booster fun of the Multiverse Legend. So it's a showcase version of each plane translated into the cards proper. And what ends up happening is that they took 10 mythics and 18 rares, so 36% and 64%, and they ended up applying the new showcase border to them. Therefore, it is possible to get them in the collector's boosters, in the set boosters, and the collector booster sample, and also in the draft booster. Now, in the collector's booster, you get 1 foil extra possible in the collector's, in the wildcard slot, or 1 non-foil extra possible in the other non-foil wildcard slot. Set boosters, you have a 10% chance of getting foil or non-foil. And then in the collector booster sample, it's in the slot that allows for a traditional foil and non-foil mythic rare wildcard. And then you can get them in draft boosters with an 8% chance. Now, just to give you an idea of what it looks like side by side with a normal card version, on the left we have Yargar Multani, the normal version, and on the right, Yargar Multani, the Planar Booster Farm version. And it's just as beautiful as the Multiverse Legends. I think that some borders in the showcase are cooler than others, but you know, that goes down to personal preference. And realistically, it's very nice that you still get a chance to get extra Planar Booster Fun out of it. The problem starts to come when now we have, 9, 10, 12 versions of each card, if you count all the foilings, the etching, and all that. So it is quite annoying. These cannot come in Halo foil, though. The Halo foil are only for the Multiverse Legends. So this is really important. You can find them foil and non-foil, and that's it. There are non-serialized and non-Halo foil. Next up, we have the Borderless Planeswalker cards, because each set tends to have some borderless planeswalkers. It's a trend that they've done for a while now. And I wonder if with the aftermath they will continue doing it because, well, supposedly most planeswalkers have lost their spark. But nonetheless, you can find these cards in 1% or less than 1% of all collectors set draft or collector booster sample packs. Therefore, it's extremely rare to get one. I would say that in my personal opinion, it would be a higher chance than getting the serialized cards. But again, because it's only less than 1%, we don't know if it's 0.00003% or 0.3%. You know what I mean? Now, just to show you a side-by-side comparison, here we have on the left Archangel Elspeth, and here we have Chandra's Hope's Beacon. Again, the treatment is a completely new picture, which is full art, so there's no frame around it, and that's it. There are no percentages given on the likelihood of getting the alternate Planeswalkers art in foil, but you know, it's still going to be less than 1%. I reckon it's less likely than the normal ones. So this is quite nice. I believe that Chandra and Ren are really, really cool. Elspeth is really, really creepy. Still cool, but really, really creepy. Not this Elspeth, but the one in the alternate version. Next up, we have the pre-release Commander promos. Now, these are Commander cards that were introduced in the pre-release bundles or boxes, whatever you want to call them. And these ones contain, basically, every bundle contains one of each of these Commander cards that cannot be obtained in the Commander decks proper. So this is another way for Wizards of the Coast to try and sell you, hey, go to your local store and purchase the pre-release if you really want these kind of cards. Now, the cool thing about these cards is there are only 3 of them, so it's 1 in 3 chance to get the one that you want. And as you can see here on the screen, there are alternate planar booster fund versions of each and every one of them. And realistically, depending on which one you like the most, some of them are cooler than others. I really like all of them, but, you know, to each their own. Now, there are different chances of getting each version of these cards when you open a pre-release box or bundle, whatever you want to call it. So you can get one each traditional non-foil in every single bundle. Now, in some bundles, in 11% of them, this will be a traditional foil version instead of non-foil traditional one. Then in 15%, you get the non-foil planar booster fund version. And then in 7.4%, you can get the foil planar booster fund version. And of course, these are being Commander cards. If there's anything that you really like, I would advise you to just buy it straight up, buy the single, because it's just cheaper and easier than trying to buy a bundle and trying to open the one you want. Next up, we have the bundle and buy a box alternate arts. This is something that they've continuously done since the beginning. And basically, each bundle and each time you buy a box, you get a single card that is a full foil card, and they're quite different arts as well, and I find them extremely beautiful. So each time you buy a bundle or a box at a WPN store that has stock, you can get one of these alternate art cards. On the left here, you can see you have the normal version. On the right, you can see the new versions or the promo versions. Also, if you pay attention and you look closely here, I have the promo buy a box, but at the bottom, it also tells you where you can get this. This is something that they have introduced with this expansion recently, and it's quite interesting because, you know, it's not something that we've seen before, that some of the cards, not all of the cards, but some of the cards, whether they were specific promo releases, so buy a box, pre-release, or story spotlighted cards, and the story ones also have the website where you can read the story proper. These ones have this little box at the bottom. And yeah, that's it. Both cards that are promotional, they're foil. The Galta and Mavren is just a different art. And instead, Yomnath, Locus of All, is a different art and also extended art. So here we have Galta and Omnath side by side. And as you can see, the foiling Here's the standard foiling that you would get. Really, really beautiful cards. I really love the art on the Omnath. It's quite creepy. And on top of that, just as a bonus, here is the Omnath Locus of All with the Planar Booster Fun version. So that's really, really nice. As you can see, I think the one on the right is definitely creepier. It does encapsulate the Phyrexian transformation of Omnath much better, but they're both beautiful and they both have their place. Next up, we have the Commander cards, and this time it's quite an interesting thing for the Commanders, because not only do you get 450 commander not new, but you get 450 commander cards divided amongst all the places where you can get them, but 60 of them are new. Now out of these 60, you get the 3 that are in the pre-release packs, but also you get 8 commander cards that cannot be obtained in the commander decks proper and only obtainable in the set boosters or in the collector's boosters. And as you can see here, it's quite interesting cards. And out of these ones, the ones that I love the most are the talents, because that's quite a new, interesting way of doing auras that you can equip to Planeswalkers and add extra abilities to them. This is really, really beautiful. And unfortunately, they didn't include them in the decks proper, and they just included them in the boosters. And before we go into showing you the percentages of where you can get them, here are some examples of the cards proper. And yeah, my favorite ones are these ones, the talents. So you get a talent for each color. You know, the white one is Elspeth, the black one is Liliana, the blue one is Teferi, Rowan is the red one, and Vivian is the green one. And they all have a similar theme to it. They all each add abilities to the Planeswalkers that they are attached to, and it's quite beautiful. And I find it a little bit of a shame that these cards are extra sprinkled upon the set. This is something that they've done before, though. There are cards in the previous expansions as well. They could not get into the boxes, but you could get them into the set boosters. This has happened in Phyrexian OB1. And so it's a bit annoying. If you're trying to collect everything, good luck to you. You might as well just buy all of them separately. But in the end, it's something that they're doing now, and we gotta live with it. Now that that's out of the way, we are looking at all the commander cards. Now, you have the cards that are in the respective commander deck, and that's it for the commander decks. Next up, you have the ones that are possible to open in either the set or the collector booster packs. And as you see here on the screen, you have the set booster packs that have the 2 wildcard slots, and that's where you can find your commander cards. And same thing for the collector booster pack. They also have 2 wildcard slots. And one can be an extra extended R mythic wildcard slot and a rare or mythic, and the other one is a non-foil rare or mythic extra wildcard slot, and then you can get 1 foil commander card every time in each collector booster pack. And then you can also get 1 in the collector's booster sample, and 1 card can be extended art or borderless in the, if you want to call it, wildcard slot of the sample packs. Now, moving on, we have the Planechase cards. Now, the Planechase cards are a new introduction from this set, and as you can see here, I have a couple of them that they haven't done in quite a long time, right? So the Planechase has been out of production for a while, and this new set has brought back some of the old ones and introduced some new ones. And these are the cards and what they look like. And you know, you have planes and ability cards, and that's really, really cool. So if you look at the screen just now, you'll see that there are 25 new Planechase cards in this set and 25 old ones. Each Planechase card is 8.8 by 12.6 centimeters. So this is, if you want to buy any sleeves, perfect sleeves or whatever, keep in mind that that's the sizing for the cards proper. Now, the commander decks each come with 5 new and 5 old Planechase cards. And in all, since there are 5 decks, that is 25 cards plus 25. So that's a grand total of 50 Planechase cards, and that's 25 new ones and 25 old ones. Next up, you have the usuals, or the usual subsets of the Jumpstart cards, of which I have an example here. Essence of Orthodoxy is one of the rares. So for this set, it's done something a bit different. As you see on the screen, there are 15 cards, there are Jumpstart, and they've taken 5 commons, 5 uncommons, and 5 rares, and each color basically gets 1 of each. So the white one will have 1 common, 1 uncommon, and 1 rare, and so on and so forth. Now, this can be, of course, found in Jumpstart booster packs, but I also found in collector booster sample packs where in the wildcard extended slot, or in collector booster packs in the wildcard extended Jumpstart non-foil slot. And then you can find them in set boosters in the 2 wildcard slots. Next up, you get the normal extended art cards. This is nothing new. There are 38 extended art cards, including some of the commander cards and some of the set cards proper. There are no extended art cards of the Multiverse Legends or the Planner Booster Fun. So if you look at right now, you can see that these, as usual, can only be found in the collector's booster boxes or in the sample packs. So the collector booster packs samples can have them in the wildcard slot, which is the extended art or borderless slot. And then in the collector booster packs, you have one possible foil version, there's no percentage given, and then an extra possible non-foil version with no percentage given, as usual. Furthermore, you can find the list cards, as usual, in the set booster packs only. One card in 25% of packs replaces the token at the end or the placement card, and that is a really cool find. If you've seen our videos, you can get some really nice cards in this set. I've managed to get, and there's the Saga, the enchantment land, so that was really cool. And lastly but not least, you get the art cards. There are 81 new art cards for you art lovers out there. And I will say that this set has some really cool ones. As usual, the art card can only be found in set booster packs, and you can get 1 per pack with a 10% chance to be signed with a golden stamp by the artist proper. Now, I will say keep an eye out, because some of the Planeswalkers and some of the cards get the full extent of the art itself, and they are gorgeous. So if you're looking to collecting them or using them for some wacky thing that you can do around the house or for your collectors, that's really cool. And that's it. This is our guide for you for March of the Machine and all of the adjacent cards versions that you can find for this set. We hope that you've enjoyed it and that it's been instructional enough. And I will say that my personal opinion is that the Halo foils stand out and the Planeswalkers are really cool. Other than that, I don't really see much of anything else being really nice. I like the addition of the Multiverse Legends. It's always great to have an extra sheet for limited games because it adds some extra wackiness and fun to a set, makes it more playful. And yeah, the Planar Booster Fun treatment is quite nice. The showcase of each plane is quite nice. But there are so many versions now of each card, and I wish they kept it a little bit more contained because it seems like it's a cuckoo land out there. But either way, we were lucky enough to get a serialized card and show it to you. This card will be returned to their owner. This is not our card, so there won't be any sales of this card, so please don't contact us about that. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully this was instructional. If you have any more questions, please leave them down in the comments below. As usual, we will be unboxing the remainder of all the sealed products left for the Commander decks, and then we will jump into the aftermath of March of the Machine products. We have one of each sealed product here to open, so make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification if you want to see more of these guys. This is an ongoing series, therefore we will be doing more as long as we can for each and every expansion that comes out. And hopefully we've given you enough answers and shed some light on some of those doubts that you've had for this expansion. So thank you very much from us for your time, for watching us, and for being with us. We wish you a lovely day, a blessed day. Be good, be kind, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!